creating fitness as a lifestyle.
So on the topic of nutrition then, it was interesting as I researched, some of the people groups were mainly your animal products, your meats, good fats, eggs, your milk and all that, and then supplementing that with vegetables, seeds, nuts, all that stuff. Others were more vegetable-based, lots of actual plant products, grains, nuts and all that, and then they had meats more as a side dish. But I think the main common denominator that I saw was not necessarily what they did have, it was what they didn't have.
Absolutely.
And there were no processed foods, no chemicals, no GMOs, nothing that had been prepackaged in any way. In fact, they were saying that when they ate their fruits, they were literally like pulling it off the vine or taking it out of the ground or whatever and eating it right on the spot. So it was totally fresh. I thought it was just so fascinating.
It's fresh, it was natural, it was organic. And I'll draw attention to Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride. She is a Russian-born neurologist, neurosurgeon actually, in the UK that is also a PhD nutritionist. And in her research, she has found that the microbiology of the gastrointestinal tract, she claims in her research, is 90% of your immune system. And I draw reference to Dr. Simoncini from Italy, who he's a tremendous oncologist and has done amazing things in cancer research. He's found that 95% of the cancer that he researches is preceded by a Candida albicans infestation, which there's a normal amount of Candida albicans, which is biology basically, microbes that are in the gut, but they're in a small number, and over 85% of the good microflora keep them in check.
Sure.
With our high sugar, high processed food diet, we kill off the good microbes, we enhance the bad microbes, and that can lead from a standpoint of the microbes actually go across the barrier in the gut, get in the blood, and lodge in different places in our body, and our body responds to that invasion by producing tumors to protect it, and there you have cancer. 95% of his research, cancers, were preceded by Candida albicans.
That's so interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say all of these people groups had literally no sugar in their diet that did not naturally occur in their fruits or vegetables. No sugar.
Absolutely.
So the average American right now has like dozens of teaspoons of sugar every single day, and then we wonder why we are a very sick culture. And it was interesting too because not only did they grow very old, America, our life expectancy is about 77, which is not bad, so to speak,
right,
except that the latter half of that life expectancy above 40 or 50 is generally very sick and very disabled.
Right.
These people are living well over 100, and they're still working every day and gardening and walking and having sex and doing all those things that in our culture we kind of think stop when you're 40.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's a great point because as I study history, in previous cultures, they may have only lived to an age of, say, 37 to 47, but they were vital to the day they died. And that's the key. I'm 67 years old. I can do more things than most 30-year-olds, and it's and not because I'm special. It's because of what I've learned, what I've applied, and it's the total package, which I'm so thankful for what you're doing, because you and the people that you're working with, as you learn from so many people like myself that have had to learn by making mistakes, you guys don't have to make those mistakes. You can enjoy the fruits of what we've learned, and you guys could be living until you're 90 to 110 and happy and healthy and having a good time.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got a pretty good handle on the nutrition stuff then.
Yes, sir.
So let's briefly touch on the lifestyle factors then. So like I said, some were mountainous, some were dwelling around sea level. What were the common denominators among their lifestyle, their activity level and all that?
They were all active, all physical, and I love what you preach is move. They were constantly moving. They were generally farmers or in an agrarian society, which hard work is a wonderful thing.
Yep.
I know growing up I did farming and ranching most of my life as a vocation or avocation, and if I had a flu or anything, most people would go to bed, I'd go to work. And I'd usually about midday, I'd sweat it out, I'd be in a hot sweat, and I'd be fine.
Absolutely. I would say if you get sick, the best thing you can do is go to the gym. Drink a bunch of water and go to the gym. Mineral water.
One of the other things that's interesting, what we researched, most people lived in a very sunny environment. And it's interesting, the incidence back when we were researching it, I don't know what it is today, but back when we researched it, the lowest incident of heart disease and cancer was in Colorado and Arizona in the 50 United States. So high amount of sunlight, and we even know that there are receptors in the eye that receive rays from the sun that stimulate digestion and other bodily process. So sunlight, getting outside, getting an adequate amount of sunlight. I've read research where it says 20 minutes a day is so vital.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually going to mention one of my favorite people, Dr. Mercola, talks about that, how you should have at least 20 minutes of direct sunlight every single day. This is only moderately related, but it helps to normalize your circadian rhythm, which tells your body basically to be awake during the day and then to sleep properly at night. And if you don't get that sunlight, it's very hard for your body to regulate itself.
Absolutely. And I'm so appreciative of what you're doing because it is a total approach. I was always looking for the silver bullet, like so many people do, but it is a total approach. It's not just nutrition, it's not just spiritual, it's just not just mental, it's all the above, and seeking out that lifestyle that is the greatest for your longevity and your health is so important.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's recap. So we've got a people that generally have animal products in their diet, generally have vegetables, nuts, seeds. You could say a paleo diet, but I don't really like to label it. I just like to say more of a diet not containing processed crappy foods. I think that's a better way of saying it because it was more what was not present in their diet. Very active, lots of sunshine, and a strong community. I think that was one of the last things I wanted to say was I thought it was really interesting that they revered and honored the elderly in their society, and I think it's really cool that we're doing this. Not that you're old, but they had a great appreciation for the different generations of their society. They actually looked forward to growing and aging because there was honor associated with that, the wisdom and the experience that they had been through.
Well, you know, Will, I've lived 67 years, and it's been interesting because in that time I've learned a saying that I try to live by. If you aren't growing, you're dying. And we all know people that haven't matured or gone mentally beyond where they were in high school, and they're maybe 50, 60, 70 years old. We need to be learning and growing, and I think that is part of the youthfulness and the longevity is consistently developing and growing and getting better. And in reference to your honoring the elderly, if the elderly are wise and are worthy of honor, then it can be a blessing to succeeding generations not to have to make the mistakes that we made, but to profit from our mistakes and go further than we went.
For sure. Yeah, definitely got to keep growing. And
Amen.
That's really my passion, again, with Beyond the Gym. And I just can't say this enough. It's not about a diet. You know, we're not doing this for 30 or 90 days. We're doing it forever. Absolutely. It's your life. We only get one shot of this. You know, you got to keep growing. You get everything that you can out of it. Absolutely. Physically, mentally, spiritually. I mean, we're here to have adventures.
They tell me there's no start over.
Yeah, and there's no easy button either. So, all right, guys, that's it. I bless you with a long, healthy, passionate, adventurous life. Go live it to the fullest, and we'll see you guys next time.
Amen.
Dad, thank you so much.
Thanks, Will.